Has the relentless, almost agonizing pursuit of a Stanley Cup finally pushed the Toronto Maple Leafs to the very edge of desperation? Or is this audacious simulated trade a stroke of genius so cunningly disguised as madness that it might just redefine their championship aspirations? In the high-octane, unforgiving world of professional hockey, where every roster maneuver is dissected with surgical precision, a hypothetical blockbuster deal has ignited a firestorm of passionate debate, proposing a seismic shift that could send shock waves reverberating across the entire Canadian hockey landscape. This isn't merely a player changing jerseys. It's a narrative woven with intricate cap gymnastics, tantalizing prospect potential, and the eternal burning desire of a franchise to finally hoist Lord Stanley's coveted mug. At the heart of this speculative maelstrom is Evander Kane, a name synonymous with raw power, undeniable controversy, and, crucially, clutch playoff performances. He has found himself at the epicenter of this swirling vortex of rumors, potentially trading the rugged, rain-swept mountains of British Columbia for the fervent, hockey-mad Mecca of Toronto. His recent journey through the NHL has been nothing short of a roller coaster, a testament to his sheer resilience and the undeniable, tangible impact he consistently brings to the ice. After missing the entirety of the 2023-24 regular season with the Edmonton Oilers, a period undoubtedly fraught with immense challenges and gnawing uncertainty, Kane made a triumphant, almost cinematic return just in time for the crucible of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And what a return it was! He didn't just participate, he absolutely excelled, reigniting the very spark that makes him such a formidable and often polarizing force. In 21 grueling playoff games, Kane was nothing short of fantastic, tallying an impressive 6 goals and 12 points, showcasing his innate ability to elevate his game when the stakes are at their absolute highest. His bruising physicality, his relentless net front presence, and his uncanny knack for timely momentum-shifting scoring were all on full display, serving as a powerful, undeniable reminder to everyone why he remains such a coveted and impactful asset across the league. He proved unequivocally that when the pressure mounts, he rises to the occasion. However, the harsh, unforgiving realities of the salary cap often dictate the fate of even the most impactful and beloved players. Immediately following the Oilers' heartbreaking defeat to the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final, a move became not just necessary, but absolutely imperative to alleviate the team's suffocating cap constraints. In a stunning, almost unbelievable turn of events, Kane was traded to the Vancouver Canucks, a transaction that served as a crucial, albeit painful, cap-clearing maneuver for Edmonton. For Vancouver, it was an opportunity too good to pass up to acquire a proven playoff performer, a gritty winger who could instantly add a jolt of intensity, a dose of veteran leadership, and much-needed scoring depth to their roster. The acquisition of Kane by the Canucks was widely seen as a shrewd strategic play, bringing a battle-tested presence and a physical edge to a team desperately looking to solidify its contender status in the fiercely competitive Western Conference. It was a move that promised to make them tougher, deeper, and more formidable. Now, just as the dust began to settle on his dramatic move to the West Coast, a new, even more audacious proposition has emerged from the depths of hockey speculation. A recent article from Heavy Sports unveiled a simulated trade that would see Evander Kane remain in Canada but pivot dramatically eastward, landing him squarely in the heart of Maple Leaf Nation. The proposed deal is a head-scratcher for some, a stroke of undeniable genius for others, and undeniably a conversation starter for all who follow the intricate dance of NHL transactions. Let's meticulously break down the proposed transaction. The Toronto Maple Leafs would acquire Evander Kane, carrying a cap hit of $5.125 million. In return, the Vancouver Canucks would receive Max Domi with a cap hit of $3.75 million, Calle Järnkrok with a cap hit of $2.1 million, and Easton Cowan, an exciting prospect on an entry-level cap hit of $873,500. On paper, this simulated exchange presents a fascinating dichotomy, a deal that from one perspective appears to be a clear, undeniable victory for the Vancouver Canucks. Consider their strategic perspective. They would be shedding Evander Kane's $5.125 million cap hit, a significant piece of salary that, while certainly justified by his impactful playoff performance, still represents a substantial financial commitment. In return, they would take on two veteran contracts in Max Domi and Calle Järnkrok, whose combined cap hit of $5.85 million is only slightly higher than Kane's. But, and this is the crucial element, they would also acquire one of the Toronto Maple Leafs' most promising young prospects, Easton Cowan. Easton Cowan is not just any prospect. He is a rising star, a player with immense, almost limitless potential who has captivated scouts and fans alike with his exceptional skill, his profound vision, and his relentless, tireless motor. Giving up a player of Cowan's caliber is a monumental, franchise-altering decision for any organization, especially for one like Toronto that has historically struggled to develop a deep pipeline of homegrown talent. For Vancouver, securing Cowan would be an absolute coup, adding a blue-chip prospect to their organizational depth chart, a player who could very well become a cornerstone of their franchise for years to come. This move would provide the Canucks with both immediate, much-needed cap flexibility and a significant, invaluable long-term asset, making it, as the Heavy Sports article astutely suggests, a no-brainer if the Maple Leafs were to ever offer such a package. It's a win-win scenario for Vancouver, cap relief and a future star all in one fell swoop. But what about the Toronto Maple Leafs? This is precisely where the simulated trade sparks intense debate and raises significant, perhaps even existential questions. The Maple Leafs, perpetually in search of the elusive, almost mythical formula for Stanley Cup success, would be acquiring Evander Kane, a player who undeniably brings a unique blend of skill, bruising physicality, and a proven ability to perform under the most intense high-pressure situations. Kane's playoff heroics with the Oilers vividly demonstrated his capacity to be a genuine difference-maker, a player who can single-handedly impose his will on a game, shift momentum, and elevate his team. For a team like Toronto, often criticized for lacking a certain edge, a gritty determination, or true playoff toughness in the postseason, Kane could theoretically provide that missing ingredient. A veteran presence who isn't afraid to go to the dirty areas, crash the net, or stand up for his teammates when the going gets tough. However, the cost for this acquisition is substantial, perhaps even prohibitive, especially when considering the alternative options that might be available on the open market. Giving up Easton Cowan, a player projected to have a truly bright and impactful future in the NHL, for a winger like Kane who, despite his undeniable talents, has also had his share of off-ice issues and lingering injury concerns, is a gamble of epic, potentially catastrophic proportions. The Heavy Sports article astutely points out that for the Maple Leafs, it's a deal that they probably could do better than anywhere else, with many other skilled wingers likely available in a deal that wouldn't force them to give up a talent like Cowan. This is the crux of the skepticism, the very heart of the doubt surrounding the trade from Toronto's perspective. Are there not other, less costly avenues to acquire a skilled, physical winger without sacrificing a top-tier prospect who could be a foundational piece for their franchise for years to come? The market for wingers can be incredibly dynamic, and the possibility of finding a comparable player for a lesser cost or without parting with such a valuable future asset looms large over any potential transaction. Furthermore, the financial implications for Toronto, while certainly not catastrophic, do add another layer of complexity to this already intricate puzzle. Acquiring Kane's $5.125 million cap hit means the Maple Leafs would be committing significant, precious resources to a player who, despite his playoff heroics, missed an entire regular season. While his playoff return was undeniably stellar, the long-term consistency and health of a player who has battled various injuries throughout his career remain a significant factor that must be weighed carefully. The Maple Leafs are a team constantly navigating the tightrope of a salary cap, and every single dollar spent must be optimized for maximum immediate impact. Is Kane at this price, and with this acquisition cost, the absolute best and most efficient use of those precious cap dollars and invaluable prospect capital? Let's consider the roles of the players potentially going to Vancouver. Max Domi, a fiery and undeniably skilled forward, brings offensive flair, a competitive spirit that can ignite a team, and a willingness to engage physically. Calle Järnkrok is a versatile, reliable two-way forward who can play effectively up and down the lineup, providing responsible defensive play and timely offense. While neither of these players individually possesses the same high-end defensive ceiling or the physical dominance that Kane brings, their combined presence, along with the invaluable, game-changing addition of Easton Cowan, provides the Canucks with a balanced and compelling return that addresses both immediate roster needs and critical long-term aspirations. For Vancouver, this trade, if it were to materialize, would be nothing short of a strategic masterpiece, allowing them to recalibrate their roster, gain crucial cap flexibility, and inject elite young talent directly into their system. Ultimately, this simulated trade serves as a fascinating thought experiment, a compelling case study highlighting the intricate, often brutal dance between ambition, shrewd asset management, and the relentless, all-consuming pursuit of a championship. For the Vancouver Canucks, the deal, if offered, would be a clear and unequivocal win, a no-brainer that would significantly bolster their future, while providing immediate, much-needed cap relief. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, however, it represents a high-stakes gamble, a move potentially driven by the intense, almost unbearable pressure to win now, but one that could come at a steep, perhaps unforgivable, price in terms of future talent. While Evander Kane could undoubtedly provide a boost to Toronto's lineup, the fundamental question remains: is sacrificing a talent like Easton Cowan a justifiable cost, especially when other potentially more favorable options might exist on the market? And what of Kane himself? His journey from Edmonton to Vancouver, and now potentially to Toronto, vividly underscores the transient, often unpredictable nature of professional sports. While the Canucks would undoubtedly hope that Kane could help them contend for a Stanley Cup in the 2025-26 season, the article also wisely notes that if they find themselves not fully in contention by the trade deadline, it wouldn't be surprising to see them deal Kane once again. This inherent fluidity is a stark, sobering reminder that in the NHL, every player, no matter how impactful or beloved, is ultimately an asset that can and will be leveraged in the relentless pursuit of the ultimate prize. So, what do you, the passionate hockey faithful, truly make of this proposed blockbuster trade? Is the tantalizing prospect of Evander Kane in a Maple Leafs jersey enough to justify parting with a talent like Easton Cowan, a potential future star? Or is this a move born of sheer desperation, one that Toronto would live to regret for years to come? Share your thoughts, your strategic insights, and your unfiltered opinions in the comments below. Let's dissect this potential deal from every angle. And if you're as captivated by the intricate chess match of NHL trades and the never-ending quest for the Stanley Cup as we are, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive insights and dynamic reports that bring you closer to the heart of the game, delivering all the drama and analysis you crave.